Well, hi there! There are only 2 Jurassic Park movies. I've said this a few times, and there has been much demand for me to explain myself. And this being Dinosaur December, I could see no better time. So, let's get into this. I'm gonna start with a statement of fact. Jurassic Park might be the best movie ever made. I'll talk a bit more about why as we go on, but if all of the movies in the universe had to cease to exist except one, this is the one that I would keep. Now, I have a minimum standard for a sequel or a prequel. It has to make you like the original, not less. If it makes you like the original less, I would prefer it if you never made it. But a good sequel makes you like the original more. More than you did before. I will tell you, when I first saw Jurassic Park, all 7 times that I saw it in theaters, and who knows how many times at home, I did not like Ian Malcolm. Sure, he had some good lines, but he was just obnoxious.
I really hate that man.
Well, 4 years later, when The Lost World Jurassic Park came out, my favorite characters, Ellie, Grant, and Muldoon, were all nowhere to be seen. Muldoon for obvious reasons, though his nearly identical brother was in my Jurassic Park Raptor Attack comic books, which I enjoyed rather extensively. But this time, the plot revolved around Ian Malcolm, who had clearly been impacted by his experiences at Jurassic Park, but who was still clearly the same man. And getting to know this more mature version of Malcolm, he became one of my favorite characters in the franchise. And my love for Ian Malcolm works retroactively. I now enjoy him thoroughly in Jurassic Park as well. He might be my favorite part. The Lost World made me like the original more. In fact, for many years, I felt like I liked it even better than the original. Jurassic Park had so much awkward dialogue. It wasn't until I started to spend more time around academics that I realized that that's just the way that they talk. You have to get those people all sorts of liquored up at conferences just so they can have a semi-normal conversation with people. And with that, I accepted that Jurassic Park is my favorite movie ever. But The Lost World is not far behind. I would really miss it after the movie apocalypse. The same cannot be said for the rest of the franchise, though I do have some hope for a rebirth, because the franchise does need a rebirth. But let's talk about Jurassic Park 3. In isolation, it isn't a bad film. This will be kind of a common thread across all of the remaining films. It's not bad. Not great, but not bad. But it is a bad sequel. I'll tell you about my favorite genre of movies and what I think is the essential element of a great movie. My favorite genre of movie is where you take realistic, relatable people and you put them in a situation that is unrealistic for one reason. That way you can really connect with the people and what they're feeling, but they are reacting to completely novel situations that are unique and that you have never faced and likely never will. It's emotionally engaging and intellectually stimulating. This recipe is why the origin story movies are almost always the best comic book movies, and why they keep rebooting franchises, so we can do the origin story again. They're all the story of a normal, relatable person dealing with the unrealistic situation of having superpowers. After that, it's just movies of superheroes getting better with their powers so they can overcome some next level baddie. That can be fun, but it isn't great. The origin story, that can be great. Well, that is the recipe of Jurassic Park. It's full of realistic, relatable characters dealing with the best possible unrealistic situation. Surviving on an island full of dinosaurs. It's hard to envision an unrealistic situation that is better than interacting with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs make nothing worse. In fact, if you have an at-all plausible explanation for how they got there, and they're done as accurately as possible, I would argue that dinosaurs make everything better. They've definitely made December into one of the best months of the year, if you ask me. But better or not, they definitely make nothing worse. So let's talk about JP3. It had some cool dinosaurs. The Spinosaurus was a bit overpowered, but that is probably not as egregious as what they did to Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park. They managed to utilize some cool scenes from Jurassic Park the novel that didn't make it into the film. And yes, Dr. Grant could talk to velociraptors, but he knew with certainty enough that he would bet his life on it that T-Rex couldn't see you if you don't move. And he learned that from the bones, not from observation of a live T-Rex as he did in the book. So we can forgive some silliness. It has dinosaurs. And dinosaurs can hide many sins. Like, say, a giant concrete wall that T-Rex had casually stepped over a few minutes earlier. It's okay, because Jurassic Park has dinosaurs. And the essential element of a great movie. Realistic, meaningful character development. Their experiences should naturally change them, or else, why is this a story worth telling? This is actually part of why the prequel trilogy of Star Wars falls flat. And even though that has nothing to do with our normal content, I would love to fill you in on my opinions about the prequel trilogy of Star Wars in the future if you'd like. Honestly, Empire is one of the few movies that could almost beat out Jurassic Park for me. But Jurassic Park has incredible character development. And Dr. Grant's story arc is probably the central point of the film. When we first meet Dr. Alan Grant, he and Dr. Ellie Sattler were a couple, even though I know that this was one of the many departures from the novel.
She's not, available, is she?
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You two are...
Yeah.
But he, Dr. Grant, did not want children. And Ellie did.
If you wanted to scare the kid, you could have pulled a gun on him,
Yeah, I know. Kids. You want to have one of those?
I don't want that kid, but a breed of child Dr. Grant could be intriguing. I mean, what's so wrong with kids?
Oh, Ellie, look, they're noisy, they're messy, they're expensive.
Cheap.
They smell.
They do not
Some of them smell. Babies smell.
When they get to the island, Ellie is trying to expose him to Tim and Lex, and he was doing all that he could to avoid them.
I heard that there was this meteor hit the Earth someplace down in Mexico and made this big crater.
Listen,
Tim.
Tim, which car were you planning on?
Whichever one you are. Then I heard about this thing in Omni, about this meteor making all this heat, and it made a bunch of diamond dust. And that thing's the weather, and they died because of the weather. And then my teacher told me about this other book by a guy named Backer, and he said... She said I should ride with you because it'd be good for you.
The boat is now floating.
But obviously, as the situation devolves into one of pure survival, Dr. Grant is put in a position to care for and protect these two kids in a true life and death situation, but one full of incredible and wonderful experiences.
Looks like it has a cold.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to go now.
Just look how it eats.
Please.
He learns to joke with them.
I guess it means the power's off.
That's not funny. That was great.
And really love them.
What do you call a blind dinosaur?
I don't know. What do you call a blind dinosaur?
Do you think he saw us?
To a doctor. Lex, you look after Tim.
Yeah.
Hey. Your hair is all sticking up. Big Tim, the human piece of toast.
And by the end of the film, he and Ellie exchange understanding smiles as he holds the sleeping kids in his arms. You may never look the same way at a bird again, but he will never look the same way at a kid again. Or so you'd think, because by the next time we see Dr. Grant, he and Ellie are no longer together. And why are they not together? Because she wanted kids and he didn't. Oh, so what was the point of the whole first movie? All that character development was apparently not character development at all. Which would make me, you guessed it, like the original less. This is why I saw JP3 twice on opening day and then never again. Despite the fact that I have owned it on DVD for the last 20 years. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist. I like the world better when it doesn't exist. That clearly is not what happened next. It just doesn't follow. And that brings us to Jurassic World. I had low expectations for Jurassic World as soon as I saw that they were making up fake dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool enough. There's no reason to try to make them cooler. That's just stupid. But then in one of the trailers, Owen Grady made that exact point.
They're dinosaurs. Wow enough.
The creators knew that fake dinosaurs were stupid. They understand that. And suddenly...
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
And we'll get back to that scene in a minute because I can prove that Jurassic Park is better than Jurassic World in 2 scenes. And this is one of them. But let's just say that I walked out of Jurassic World disappointed. I walked into the theater expecting Jurassic Park, and what I got was the first Transformers movie, but with dinosaurs. That said, I felt like the first Transformers movie was about as good as a Transformers movie could possibly be, and of course, dinosaurs make nothing worse. So when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom came out, my expectations were just right. I was expecting the first Transformers movie, but with dinosaurs, and I was not disappointed. I enjoyed the movie thoroughly, and it's my understanding that Jurassic World is better than Fallen Kingdom. I should probably go see it again with the right expectations, because those 2 movies are a lot of fun. But you know what they're not? Great movies. And now is the time for me to play a scene from Jurassic Park, and then a scene from the most recent Jurassic World movie, Dominion, to show you the difference.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business. Oh, Mr. Arnold.
Hold on tight.
often reflect too much on how the dinosaurs in Jurassic World have so much less depth than those in Jurassic Park. They tend to be, as my paleontologist friend Ethan calls them, a set of snapping jaws. But I'm much more focused on the people. Ellie was real. Jurassic World is full of action heroes. And yeah, maybe Claire was hardened by that point, but look back at the first movie.
I can't wait to tell Mom! Oh, please, no. Do not tell your mother about that ever.
Action heroes. And action hero movies can be a lot of fun. If they were called Dinosaur Action Movie 1, 2, and 3, I would love them. But not as sequels to what I think is the greatest movie of all time. They are just money grabs benefiting from its legacy. And 30 years from now, they will be all but forgotten. But we will still be watching Jurassic Park. As always, like and subscribe. We hope to see you real soon. Now, if you notice I didn't talk very much about Dominion, it's because I never saw Dominion. And I never saw Dominion on purpose. And if you want to know a little bit more about why, you should check out the extra video that we have for our Stinkin' Rad fans at Patreon, because I've got my reasons. While we wait, I will just insist that you guys hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts. What?